Okay, guys, how we doing today? Here we are on the 26th. We're looking at traditionals today, so ran up the poll, but you guys were all over the place today. It's good. I love to see so many members participating here. Yeah, it's kind of close here, but the TQQQ is the one that won it here. So I thought we'd look at it here. It's an ETF for the Nasdaq. It's very, very similar, but I actually prefer the analysis on the Nasdaq, which we don't have the gaps. They're very similar. It's not exactly the same. Here's the TQQ. What I'm going to focus on here is the move off of the 2016 low. This is in effect, right? This is the Trump era. All right, so our low down, I think our low here is January 8th, right? And he took over January 20th. So as we come off of this, because we're in this just remarkable extension here, I think it's not a bad idea to divide here. So coming off of the 2016 low, I can get the clear impulse and then the retrace here and it's damn near to the tick, to the 50. So I lean into a 1-2 here. Now, if we come over to the TQQ, it's a deeper retracement, interestingly. It's very similar. I mean, same low, same 1-2. This looks like we get the expanded B wave here into the 4 and up. And so we complete something, a deeper retracement here. Now, this is something one of my members has been using here, calling it the platinum zone. I'm not so sure. I don't like that. So we're using the 65 to the 70 here as the platinum zone, right, since we're through the golden zone. It's something we're kind of watching to see if there's responsiveness here, 786 down here. So it is deeper here. Right, over on the NQ, on continuous contract, we just make the 50 here. But this is what has me leaning much more into a 1-2 here. And then going off, we're into, well, now we'll look at it here over on the NQ continuous contract. So from this 2016 low, all right, I know that's annoying. You're right, just getting into it. Now I'm breaking in here. Well, I do that for the people that fast forward through our intro and, me babbling about the poll and all that. Yeah, I know people do that shit. I do it. But I just, for those people, I didn't want you to miss this. All right, so the Black Friday special running, it's going to run all week long. Some pretty good savings here. 30% off of the monthly, 35 off of a 3-month, and the big kicker is 40% off the 6-month. Right, so you do have to use these codes. Right, I mean, it's not hard to remember, BF30, BF35, BF40, pretty straightforward for Black Friday. But if you wanted to double check or you have questions, well, of course, we can always write us. But we have all of this over on our Twitter feed as well. All right, so just so you knew that that's going on, wouldn't want you guys to miss it. There you go. Okay, back to the video. Because of the depth of that retracement, I think you do have to go 1-2. Now, where it's getting very tricky here is that we're not getting the easy, of course, wouldn't it be nice if we just got a 1-2, 50 to 618 for the 2, and then off we went off into an impulse. That's not what we're getting. We're getting this chop here. So the count is getting a little tricky. Now, so I'm out here on a daily, and now I've got a lot of things on here. So I would certainly have this somewhere. Now, I'm going to hide it here. But we look for intersections here. So you can see the smaller, the internal set of median lines here intersecting up here at this point. Let me just put a little divot right there. So as a potential target, and we'll get through the count in a second, but that's an area of interest when you see that kind of confluence here as those two geometric components here are overlapping here, 9100. It's amazing. We're sitting here projecting over 10,000 here in the NQ. Well, I mean, we're sitting here at 83, 84, 83 and change, about to hit 85. Doesn't seem like much of a leap given central banks want it to keep going. So it's going to keep going until that changes. So again, I think the count is cleaner over here. Now let me go from let's go to the 4-hour here and we'll kind of dig into this a little bit. Now I'm going to take the larger one. I'm just going to hide it here if I go back over here. So I'm going to hide that one and we'll focus here on the lower degree here. So here's our wave 2. We're proposed wave 2 off of that 50. See, it's a slight front run. Now take note of this. All right, so we know why it stops there. No member, no one who watches YouTube has to wonder what happened there. We know exactly what happened there. But that algorithm has a target here that we are approaching fast, right? So this algorithm, right, stays long until they get here. Right, now remember, this is not a sell signal because nothing says we couldn't keep going, right? But that's just an area you might expect a little volatility there. Is this algorithm will start taking some profit there. There's no resistance up here. Nothing. We're not bumping into anything, so we've got clear sailing here. Here's our intersection point. That's 9100. So this is the tricky part here. So I do think, much like the S&P, I think we do, this is all self-contained. I think this, we complete an impulse here off of the low right here, right? I think that is, now that's my opinion, right? I could be wrong. Maybe Elliottians that feel differently. But I think it's tempting, right? And we've talked about this before, to want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't see, I think this is all self-contained. Now, right, so that theory runs into a little bit of a bump here because we don't make the 50. Again, it's a shallow retracement. Again, it's not that we don't see wave 2s that don't make the 50. It's that the vast majority, well, exactly 73% of wave 2s make it to the 50, between the 50 and the 618. So in this case, it's 12% that only make the 38. But again, that's not zero. So here we go, right? It's 12%, right? In the unusual circumstance in the indexes here with such rampant central bank intervention and them just fueling this, right? I'll let you draw your own conclusions as to why they're doing it. But this, I think, is self-contained. So 1, 2. Now, see, either it's not any cleaner. Even if you put the 1 here, if you were to move the dominant here, the larger degree over here, it doesn't get any better actually over here. It's not like, oh, well, shit, now that really clears things up. Not the case, right? So you can see here that this algorithm here is just now hitting its target. Here we got a little bit of a reaction, but just continuing to move on. So is this a front run on the 50? I mean, it's possible they could have used a secondary here. Possible, right? You never are quite sure when it doesn't make where you know that's a bit far for a front run, to be perfectly honest. The only other thing that you might check here that would cause this to stall here is if we go from the pivot high. Right, well, here we make the 50, but we get second target. Do you see that? So that could be what caused, so it's damn near second target to the tick, if I'm right. I'm right on that, and maybe a slight front run on the second target here. So for the A, the B running up to golden zone, and then just straight down here, we barely pause. This is said legs. So we come here, and this could very well be what causes the pivot here is we get second target, and that's the market. So we get that, and as we've shown this several times. You just get the straight V bottom here. So with that as a candidate here for the 1, A, B, C down for the 2 at this degree here, so allowing for the more shallow wave 2, yet again, I think you have to go 1, 2 because just process of elimination, if you're going to stay with the 1 here, which I think is valid, if you stay 1, 2, you got to go 1, 2 again, but you can't go 1, 2, pardon me. 1, 2, oh shit, I should take that off. I know that's annoying. All right, if this is the 1 from the 2016 low to the 2, if we go 1, we can't go 2, 1, 2 again because we can't get a 1 here. No matter how hard you try and force fit that, you can't make it work. So I think what we have to live with here, and this is much like we've talked about in the S&P, I think we go into the 1. Excuse me, so sorry. Then I do think we go A, B into a C, and so we get a running flat. Now, we're on the edge here. I understand that, right? Purists are not going to like this. So here's let me get this, what I got here? I need let's just do it here. I need the 887 on. Let's just do it this way. All right, so we get here. So we get just a hair past this. So I mean, for me, that's close enough, right? We get past the 887. That's within ticks of the 90. So for an A, B, so for a running flat, which is what I'm proposing here, A, B, we get through the 887, just tickle the 90, and I can get a diagonal to come down here, give me the 5 of the C of the 2 for the running flat. And then from that, now we go into an impulse. And it's one hell of an impulse as well. So let me pull some of this off here so we can clear it up. I'm going to take this one off since we've just now hit that target. So with that target gone, now we look here, say, is there something technically I can work with here? So if I pull in here, now note, we go deep here for the A, into the B, but down for the C. Now I'm sitting here at the 50. So you have to look at that and go, well, wait a minute, right? So if the algo broke here and now we're looking on the sell side, do I have anything from this level? Right, will we get it? It just goes just barely. Let's dig in there, right? So here's your 65. If I get right on that. Boy, those get mighty tiny here. So if that's a 2, so you'd prefer to see the golden zone hold here, but we get a spike through it. It's quickly rejected. Look at that wick right there. They're like, oh no, we're not staying down there, right? That what an opportunity, and then that's the last pivot before off we go. Now, so I'm going to take this one off. See how we look here on that too. Right, so can we just keep going? Are these all going to be, well, now we get golden zone. All right, so now look in here. So I'm still out in the 4 hour here. So now I get from the, I got to tighten them up. Get you right on there. Man, it's just a, you know what here, it gets right through, right? So we get just a tick through the 65 here, but again, it looks like, you know, maybe there's this platinum zone, for lack of a better term for it. All right, that's a contender here for a 2. So we get an A, B, C, right? We break the low there. It's not gorgeous, but I've got the structure that I would need to plant the 2 there. Now we go off on that, so it looks like you'd have to go 1, 2, Jesus, 3, 4, and still going here into the 5. I mean, this thing is still ripping. So this would be the 1, 2 of the 3rd, right? So from this pivot, it looks like we do go 1, 2 here. Now, God, I know it's so much stuff on here. Get that off here, so I try and remove some of this as it goes just to clear it up. Let's get you tighten up over here. Every time you change time frames. Okay, so if this is 1, 2, well, this yet again looks like 1, 2, right? So if this is here, right, yet again, it's, you know, some market is, it's just the market is so, doesn't want to wait for it. So we come Vegas wave, but yet again, we don't make the 50. So it's kind of mixed signals here. We're getting deep retracements on the 2s, but then shallow. So it's almost like it's alternating. We're getting the deep retracement on the first push, then the shallow retracement on the second. So you see kind of the same thing here. Deep, and then we go shallow. Now we're deep, now we go shallow. So if this is 1, 2, it does look like you'd have to go 1, 2 again. Because the extension here is so far, I don't think you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4 ripping extension that would still be going here into the 5th. I know. So you look here and you go, well, this would be the 1, 6, 1, 8 of this 1, 2. Right? So even if we go up a degree, let's consider that as a possibility. If this is 1, 2, and then you're going to go to the degree lower, now we're pushing all of this up. Right? It's possible. Right? This thing just does not want to come down. So let's push that off. So just adding now at the next degree, right? That's what we would do. 3, 4, looks like that's going 5. Now let's go down 1 so we don't lose track of what's what here. Go back to white. So if that's 3 and this is the 4 of the 5 of the 3rd at this degree, everything just says higher, 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 higher. No sign of a top until something changes with central bank policy. This is just gonna keep going. Right, and you know, barring the unforeseen, you know, right? I mean, you never know really what's going to cause it here. I mean, there's plenty of, certainly, you know, you guys are familiar with the statement that the bull markets climb a wall of worry. This doesn't feel like a melt up, and there is plenty of worry from which this is climbing. I mean, it's 10-year bull market, right? But as long as the Fed's going to stay supportive, there's nothing in sight that would suggest that this is going to end anytime soon. If Trump gets reelected, 10,000 probably in the bag. All right, regardless of what no politics here, but if he does get reelected, that we're going to keep rolling, right? There'll be nothing to stop it. Right, 4 or 5. So You know, I wouldn't. So it's tempting. I know it's so freaking tempting to want to try and pick the top up here. I've been that guy trying to pick the turn. It's just doesn't pay. Right? There's no reason to do it. So I mean, you just at some point you're going to get one of these that fails, and then something more significant is going to start. But right now you got to just continue to roll with the trend. So what you're looking for is opportunities to buy. These retracements have all proven even short-lived. Now I'm out here on a 4-hour still, so it literally looks like we're 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I mean, that's just insanely bullish. But here we've just already, again, 30 days of all-time highs this year. What's going to stop it from getting there? Again, there's no algo to fight it. There's no resistance here. Even if we go to indicators, you know, I mean, sure, we're getting a little hot here, but look, we've been hot. Look how shallow the retracement was. Last time we were down to below 30 was on this retracement. You know, we need these spikes down. They all have been just buying opportunities, right? You don't want to fight this trend, as tempting as it is. It's like, really, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Really, this could keep going. Trend dominates. They're trying to outsmart the market, not think it. It's generally not a good idea. But let's just finish off in terms of some targets here. So this is the big one. Let's see, if we get all the way back here to this 50. All right, this one here at, what are we at there? That's 80, call it 86.50. It would shock me if we don't make that. We can make that this week. But just in terms of putting together some, let's see if I can do it. Shoot, I don't think I can do it. I think I got to go to the 8-hour here. Yeah, I'm going to need to. All right, so we can do some shorthand here. So if this at this degree, and this gets crazy. Here, let me get this. Shit, where are you? There you are. See, I started on the weekly. That's why these are way out here. Okay, get you over there, over there, over there. Okay, so let's see if we can put some targets together. Okay, so for this 1 2, we know this is going to be close here. 4 5. Let's go with the third target up here potentially now. This would be the 5th off of the 2016 low, if you can believe that. 1 2. This is the candidate here for this 2. If that 2 is going to play and we're going to get a full 1618, we're going to be very close to that negative 100. It's not going to be right on the 1618 because we only do the 50 here, not the golden zone. So it'll be close. It's a good shorthand for us. Okay, so let's go down. Let's go back to that 4-hour. And look here. Okay, so we've got our target off of this 2. Now this one needs the same thing. So if I pull from this low here and put that low here, so we can just start wicking off a few areas here. Well, here's the minimum required. If this is going to go 1 2 at this degree, well, at least we got to get to the 100. So we can kind of wick that one off here. And potentially now there's your median line target. I'm going to take this out of here just for the time being. So at this smaller degree, that potentially 3 4 5 up here, 3 4 5, all still. Nothing says, everything says we go. So 1 2, now we got a secondary one, right? So you need to do this for each of them. So the first one is done. Now we got to do this one. 1. Now remember the 2 is over here. Okay, so here's my 100 right here as well. So this also kind of a minimum requirement here, if this count is going to hold, that we would at least get 100% the length of this one, right? But then we get it yet again, right? So we're starting to get, so this becomes a potential confluence point here where we might anticipate a reaction. We're getting the larger first algo target. We're getting the 100 of the smaller degree, but here's the 100 of the larger degree. So if that's going to play 4 as 5 and 5, the anticipation would be that we're going here to get the 3, little 3 to get the 4, and then we go up to get the 5 of the 3 here, right? Which would set up the 4, and then the 5 of the 3 of the larger degree. So we're trying to get this 3 up here off of this 1 2. And this one too, this one right here, right? If I wiggle that one, actually we'd be looking for this. It potentially, and I could go as high as this. We could go even higher, right? So nothing says this one has to stop here, right? So this would be the 1618. So if we're going to go up and get some of this up here towards the median line, or get through the median line, go towards the upper parallel, it's just raging bull, right? There's nothing here that says top heavy, other than you look at the thing and you go, God damn, can that really keep going? At some point, you'd think, yeah, I know it's very tempting to do it, but I would advise against it, and until proven otherwise. Here's how you're going to know. You're going to need to take a long and get stopped out. Well, I guess it depends on what kind of time frame you're trading on. But in terms of every one of these buys, so right now there is absolutely nothing to do except be a buyer and look for opportunities on retraces to get into the trend. That's it, right? Until one of these really craters. Right? There's no reason to anticipate anything changing. Again, barring the unforeseen event. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Crazy. I know it. But the trend is your friend, and right now, for the last 10 years, every single dip has been a buying opportunity. There will be a day when that changes, but it doesn't appear to be here yet. All right, so I wouldn't buy this sitting here at an all-time high. I would be waiting if we get up here and get that, and it's technical. So we've got so here's our 80%, right? That's in play from this corner. If we hit that and we get a reaction, which nothing says we must have that happen. It could blow right through and go up here. I mean, nothing says we have to stop here. We just have a reasonable technical target where we can anticipate and look for a reaction, but not to be a seller, to hope that you get an opportunity to be a buyer. So if we tee that up here from our second, right, look where that would put you right here at the 38. Now, is it going to do that exactly? Well, of course, we don't know. But you want to lay a roadmap out. So right now, would you want to be a buyer here? Well, you got a little runway from 84 to 86. I mean, shit, there's nothing wrong with that. But you're buying as we're breaking that high and continue. To me personally, I can't do it. I wait. I'd rather sit out for the swing here, this little distance that we've got until we get to the pivot. See what the reaction is. Here's where I want to buy it. I want to buy that. Let them put it on sale. Mark it down just a bit for me, right? And I come into all that structure. Every one of these ones, right, has got to be in play, right? So we got to wick all of these off. Come down here to this structure here where I've got that upper sloping parallel. I'll buy that all day, right? But really, all that's setting up is the next opportunity to get that one. You trade them until they fail, right? Right now, there is no reason to be a seller here. Technically, I should say that. Right, fundamentally, God, we could go for 3 hours on why this is insane valuation. It just keeps going. All right, guys. So we'll break it there. I know we've got a couple others that you guys were requesting here. So let's wrap it there. But if that's offered up here, I mean that's December-ish kind of time frame. Yeah, I'd be paying attention there. Okay, guys, back to you.